In a world of reboots, remakes, and cinematic disasters, two dudes with no clue dare to ask, what the hell were they thinking? Popcorn ready, brains off, no film school, and no mercy. This is No Clue Movie Reviews.
Hello and welcome back to the No Clue Movie Reviews. I am your host, Jay, and as always, I am joined by the man, the beard, the legend, Malcolm. How you doing, Malcolm?
Oh boy, not bad. Let's just go back to the 90s. Let's leave now. Let's go back to the 90s. I'm ready to go.
Well, I love that. And you know what? Let's have somebody join us to take us back to the 90s. Because today we are actually joined by a special guest host joining us from the And Now You Know podcast, our good friend, Teresa. How you
Hi,
doing, Teresa?
guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so freaking excited to talk about this movie.
Well, speaking of this movie, I have questions regarding it, but let us introduce it to our listeners. We're doing something a little different. Being that you're our first guest on the show, we decided to do a kind of a guest choice thing for the movie. And Teresa brought a 1990 made-for-TV. I guess you call it a movie. It's an episode of a TV series, but it's basically a movie.
Yes.
Columbo Cries Wolf. I've got to know before we get started. I already know mine and Malcolm's history with this. I don't know what the hell Columbo was before this.
Oh my
Malcolm?
gosh.
Me, I was just familiar with the name and what he looked like.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah.
I've got to know why this episode.
Okay, first of all, this episode slash movie, because in the ninth season, like the ninth and 10th season, they basically just started making mini movies. Like I think they had like maybe 10 episodes, quote unquote, per season. Um, but me and my husband, like we religiously watch this and Rockford Files on Pluto and Tubi. We love it. It's so campy, it's so corny. And then we came across Columbo Cries Wolf, and it was like a total different take on the Columbo, because usually it's like you find out who did the murder, Columbo solves it, the end. Except this time, Columbo gets got. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much going on.
I'm not going to say what I thought of the movie yet. We'll wait to the end for that. But I must say, I really enjoyed the intro to it, and I almost felt like I was back in the porn stash days, based off of all the women walking around in bikinis. I really thought we were about to jump into a different type of review here for a minute. But kicking it off with She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals. I forgot all about that song, and something about that just really brought me into the movie. You got that playing, and it's just a big party going on for what's the magazine, Bachelor's World?
Yeah,
Yes,
Bachelor's
Bachelor's
World.
World.
The first thing I noticed here, I guess Sean and Diane, Miss Hunter. I'm going to refer to her as like 5 different things throughout this because all my notes are all different. Sean, but his watch, is this like the first iWatch? Like this where Apple got
It's
their idea.
it's his like pager watch that only him and her have.
Did these really exist?
No way. Because if you look closely, you could tell that they just would print out words on a piece of paper and glue it
Okay.
on a cheap, which I worked on television, but upscaled from the original film up. It's like, oh, I can see it peeling in the corner, but I still loved it. But definitely would have been inspired by like the Casio calculator watch when people
Yeah.
thought, oh, it's the future. And I guess they were right.
I really enjoyed that, but the story kicking off, you got Sean is taking photos of, for the magazine, and I guess Diane is just looking extremely jealous here. Uh,
Mhm.
they I guess they kind of lead into Diane and him. Were they together or were they just partners? That threw me off at first. Why was she so jealous?
I believe that they were like a couple when they first started the magazine, because like the whole magazine, it's basically like a made for TV Playboy, or like I wouldn't even say Playboy, but like Maxim, because they have like their whole chateau and all, like the nymphs are what the girls are called. And so her and him started this magazine, but she was the main investor in the magazine, so she owns most of the majority stake in it. And so she still has feelings for Sean, and she watches him making out with Tina on camera, and she gets all jelly.
I think she probably watched him do a little bit more, but
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think a lot more happened, and he probably even played it up for the camera coming because
Oh,
he can't not
definitely.
know that camera's there.
well, we kind of did a little lookup because I honestly I spelled chateau like 5 different ways throughout my notes, just for the record. But Malcolm, how is this a chateau exactly?
Because if you want to sound pompous and just use a French word, because there's no nobility in this household. This
No.
is a mansion. That's about it.
Yeah. Well,
Mansion slash petting zoo.
he's British or whatever he is, and they wanna sound fancy.
Mm-hmm.
So he was British. Like I couldn't place anything on the guy. He
Oh,
I looked him up, and I guess he is from the UK, but, like, it sounds like definitely a put on British accent.
he was all around kind of creepy to me, just being honest. Like that big ass smile.
I love that smile. He has grown into that smile. He's still around. He's older. He actually looks better now than he did then. But that smile, good Lord, is my
Yeah.
favorite part.
Just so swarmy.
Well, as Teresa said, Diane owns the majority stake in the company, but she actually has an idea of selling her stocks to a Sir Harry Matthews. So maybe if she sells it to Sir Harry Matthews, it's kind of nobility. It could become a chateau.
It
Could.
could be once he kicks his ass out of there.
Yeah, Sean doesn't like this. He tries to talk her into staying, promises to get rid of all of his flings, which leads me to believe he fucks pretty much everyone he takes pictures of. And I can't blame the guy. He's trying to get her to sell her the stakes to him instead, or at least 2%. No, she wants to sell it to Harry, and she says he'll probably shut down the chateau. This whole thing leads into their fight, which is the kind of, the crux of the story here. You think they have this big fight. He sends her, like, she's going to London, and you basically have him saying menacingly, "Have a safe trip."
Yeah, it was interesting at the end of the fight in the office.
Ta-ta for now, Sean.
Miss opportunity. Ta-tas, that's our bread and butter.
Well, I was a little lost on some of this, but I really liked, you see her leave during a party,
Mhm.
and Sean makes it known around that he's still there, makes everybody know he's still there. And after they leave, the driver takes her to get smoked salmon. I love how they get really in depth here, but smoked salmon, and she's got to have it cut just right for her and everything.
Well,
But
it's not. It hasn't even been smoked. It looks like it's raw to me.
that's
Yeah.
what I
I don't
thought.
know.
There was nothing about that salmon that was cooked, and that wasn't cut either. Like it was cut, but not razor thin. They wanted, but
Not flying private. She's gonna get on a commercial flight and bring your own fish. You're not even allowed to do that in an office.
Yeah, I literally have rules at my work about eating fish at work. It's not allowed, and she's gonna do it on a
So
plane.
rude. That's gonna get you killed alone.
I wish people would do that on my work. Like we have the smelliest shit get cooked in our microwaves, and there's probably 20 microwaves in our little area there. You never know. You'll have popcorn, fish, chicken, all in different microwaves. It's an interesting smell.
Mhm.
But yeah, the driver, I only recognize I recognize him all the time. He was
Mhm.
Ace Ventura's landlord.
Yes.
Yes.
But I always recognize him from the show Oz. He played Antonio Napa in Oz. And then I've been watching Breaking Bad, and all of a sudden there he is
Mhm.
in there, and he's a fucking
Ding,
old,
ding,
like,
ding, ding, ding. Yep.
Hispanic dude, and yeah, ringing the bell, ding, ding, ding. So this guy's
And don't
got,
forget one thing, he was in Opening of Missy Beethoven. He was on
holy
the
shit.
airplane.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
He's everywhere.
yeah, and I swear to God, he doesn't get older. He
Mm-mm.
looks the same.
No, he gets older. He got old at age 8 and stayed there for the rest of his life.
He grew into his age.
Like, I wish I knew his name. I didn't bother looking it up, but if
No.
you would recognize him right away.
Yes.
Mhm.
But while he's getting the smoked salmon, he hears a gunshot, which the cook or whatever tells him that he believes it's probably just a car backfiring.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard plenty of cars backfiring, and it's never sounded like that. But why would there be a car backfiring in the alley that is a dead end?
I don't know, like, that part confused me. It's just like, what, did a car pull in and just, like, backfire and back out? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm vaguely trying to remember. I think all cars backfire back in 1990.
Yeah.
Oh, is that just part of it?
I just think that's just how they shut off back then.
Ba-boom!
Like, remember some old vehicles back then, you shut them off and they just keep going? They would just keep, they wouldn't stop.
Well, I love that he runs out, looks around, and walks right back in. Doesn't even bother to check to see what it was. But
No,
he
and
goes with it.
that's amazing, like, especially having, like, this mogul magazine woman in the backseat of the car, like, you just poke your head out and be like, "Oh, nobody's dead, cool."
He takes her to the airport. Doesn't seem bothered by the fact that she doesn't want the salmon he went in and got for her. He keeps that in the front seat. She gets out of the car and she's all bundled up and everything. And I wrote here, it clearly isn't Miss Hunter that got out of the car. The driver seems to notice something's wrong, but doesn't question it. Nothing. It just moves on with his day. Once again, he's got this millionaire. Oh, I say millionaire. I don't know how much she's worth. He got this mogul lady sitting in the back of the car and heard a gunshot. He sees it. It doesn't look like her. She didn't she didn't want the salmon. So now he's just got salmon with him.
And then she doesn't even say anything.
No.
Yeah. No. Up to this point, it's been like a soap opera, which is convenient because both Sean and Miss Hunter played in soap operas.
Yeah, because wasn't Diane, she was
Yeah,
Marlena
she was a
off
more
of Days of Our Lives, I think?
Yes, my wife let me know that. Yes.
Yeah, I knew nothing of them. I don't know anything about Days of Our Lives. Like I said, the only person I recognized in this movie was the driver.
Yeah.
We're 15 minutes in, and we finally meet Columbo. And first of all, why are there so many alpacas at the chateau?
But there's actually not. They have one, well, I call it llama. There's one llama. They just keep moving it.
Yeah.
I checked. It has a distinctive color on its tail. It's like same llama, same llama. There are 3 reindeer and 1 llama. That's all they could afford. They had some random ducks.
The reindeer was a really random shit to throw in. And that was a very short scene, too. Were they in any other part besides the scene where they show up?
There's a couple of shots when they're digging up the yard.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get a couple peeks and that's about it.
Okay, yeah, I must have missed them because when I saw them later when Tina was around them, yeah, that I was like, "What the
Yeah,
fuck are there
yeah.
reindeer for?"
Tina the llama? Yeah. Eat your dinner, Tina.
Gosh.
And that's I just imagining these animals are just tied up to these trees all day. Because they wouldn't check on them, just feed them out there.
In
That's all they
90-degree
know.
California heat.
No, I just assumed they were alpacas. Just throwing that out there. They might be llamas, but they look like alpacas to me. Who knows?
Potato,
Same
We
fucking
have no
potato.
clue.
thing.
We have no clue about animals here.
They all taste the same. Who cares? We finally see Columbo, though, like I said, driving onto the chateau. And he interrupts Sean, another shoot that Sean is having. And Sean's pretty upset at him at this point, but he finds out that he made an appointment with the secretary. Basically, Columbo got a call from somebody in London reporting Diana's missing. Sean acts surprised, says Miss Hunter said all he was told was she was flying to London. So that's his whole thing. And he doesn't seem like bothered by that she's missing, but he's like, oh, she's fine. She's fine. Says she disappears all the time. And he starts naming off some random shit, though. Did y'all catch the places she disappears to?
What is
I heard Shangri-La. I think I heard
Yeah,
that.
Shangri-La, and I think like
The Mojave
Thailand.
Desert.
Yeah, that like this is just her thing, that she'll like go off in a huff and say she's going somewhere, but instead she's like doing some soul searching somewhere else.
Well, see, the soul searching makes sense when he said the Tibetan monastery, but like the other ones, like the Mojave Desert, like you don't need to go
Well,
into the middle of the fucking desert.
No, she went 3 days in the Mojave Desert to go meet those 3 guys that control all the assassins from the John Wick series.
So I guess we find out that the person that called in the report was the person she was supposed to be meeting with, and said she never showed up, and it was she was going there to meet. Was it Mr. I lost his name.
Sir Harry Matthews.
There's Sir Harry Matthews. I almost said Mr. Harry. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. It's Sir. He's been knighted. He's concerned that she didn't show up. Supposed to have a meeting to sell it. Sean doesn't seem to care. He's going around interviewing people on the property and goes and talks to the driver. Now, this is where it threw me off because I didn't even think about the salmon not getting to her. So this driver kept the salmon with him. Did he eat it?
Now he implied that he handed it to her, or she left with it. He just had it in the front seat.
So
Yeah.
she took the salmon on the airplane with her.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the plan because she doesn't like their food because she's
Because I think what he did, like when he was getting her out of the car, that he handed, because I remember he handed something to her, like a basket,
Okay.
and so she put it like kind of under her shawl.
Okay. Yeah. So I you know what? I completely missed that part. That's part of me having no clue.
Nice.
I just assumed that she was going to eat it in the car on the way there because she did say she didn't like their food. So I thought she was going to do it that. But I guess she's a complete bitch because who does?
Yes.
She's eating raw fish in the back of the limousine like a fucking penguin.
Well, I mean, I would rather her do that than do it on the airplane. I mean, that'd look even fucking creepier. Just,
It'd be more polite.
I mean, she would probably still go onto the airplane stinking of fish, but at least it's not being eaten in front of people. And they're like the good food that she brought compared to the shit food. I mean, you're gonna have some jealous people.
Oh, definitely. Again, a reason for her to get killed on the flight.
But I like how Columbo, when he enters the movie, it's like a relic coming out of a museum. I'm assuming if like I said, I had no familiarity with Columbo, like that's probably the original car from the original series, just all
It
beat up
is
and old.
like that's his classic car. Like it's in 90. I think it might be like kind of a running joke because I want to say in like the very first season, like he's had that car and you progressively see it just getting shittier
Right.
and
I
shittier.
had a feeling. I like how it let me know about things I should know. It's like, okay, I have a feeling that there's something to the reason it's all beat up.
Now,
his car.
I do have a question about his eye. Did that happen before the movies or before the show was filmed, or was the show being filmed and then his eye get fucked up and he had to get a glass eye later on?
It was when he was 4 years old. He had eye cancer, so they removed it in like the early 1930s when he was like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Early 1930s. Damn, how old was he? Like
he was like born in 27.
Yeah, he was an old guy.
He was in his mid to late 60s on this episode.
The wife, I was telling her about this, and she like walked in while I was watching and saw his eye, and she told me a story about her grandmother who has a glass eye, which ironically has a glass eye.
Did she solve crimes?
Well, no, she got a glass eye after getting glass in her eye.
Ah, damn.
I was like, that.
They use that piece of glass for her eye.
One can only hope.
Recycle, reuse, and whatever the other one was. There it is.
But his eye just like I couldn't stop looking at it. And it couldn't stop looking everywhere.
It is distracting, especially like when you see his one good eye moving and like his other one's just in place.
I always thought he was cross-eyed when I would always see stills of Columbo. I was like, oh, he's a cross-eyed detective. Okay, interesting superpower, but
well, it made me want to go back and watch Last Action Hero. Do y'all remember the bad guy on that who had the glass eye? Yeah, but I'm like, come on, man, do something fun with your eye. Put an 8-ball in there or something, like what he did.
Or question mark,
yeah,
since he's
or
a detective.
a smiley face or something, like when he's mad, put a sad frowny face. Yeah, he goes and he interviews the driver because Sean is basically worthless. At this point Sean's still acting concerned. Later on we'll figure out that he just thinks it's all a joke. The driver starts telling him the situation of everything that happened, but doesn't bother mentioning the gunshot or anything or any of the weird shit that happened. He said everything was normal.
He mentions it. It's just normal to him.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is like this is all shit that he looked suspicious of. Like, and they made it clear that he was suspicious in the in the shots and everything. Yet when being interviewed or whatever, he, I don't know, interrogated. I don't know what we were doing here, but
Just
when being asked
questioning.
about her, he literally doesn't seem to be bothered by anything he was bothered about the night before. I thought that kind of weird.
And even too that it's just like He was very just, like, nonchalant about it because, like, even the place that they pulled up at, it's not like it was a high crime area because you know how they did stuff in the '90s, especially, like, if it's a seedy part, like, you'd see shopping carts or, like, a bum in the alleyway, and it's just like, no, he pulled up to a highfalutin restaurant, like, hearing a gunshot shouldn't have been normal, and and I love too how, like, there's a cute back and forth to where, like, Columbo's insisting, like, "Well, they had to switch the body," and he's like, "No, there's not enough time to switch the body. Are you sure? How long did it take?" And, like, they're just going back and forth, and he's like, "No, there's absolutely no way anybody could have switched the body in the 2 seconds it took me to get out," and Columbo's just like, "Well, I guess they couldn't have switched the body then."
No, the driver, like, I really did. That's probably one of my favorite parts was the back and forth between them. But
Mhm.
you've come to find out the driver hadn't cleaned the car yet, and now Columbo tells him don't not to clean it, and then he says Mr. Brantley won't like that.
Yeah.
Why now would he not like that? Why would he not be
Well,
pissed off at because he hasn't already cleaned it, you know? The guy seems like to be
it's
high
more or
class.
less because he's about to lose his, cyberpunk that is a cyberpunk looking limousine.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I really did enjoy the limousine. It was the
mhm.
it was the fanciest thing in the whole fucking show.
It's
But
fancy, but I'll show you something later that makes you think it's not.
I say, would you rather have the limo or Columbo's car?
Columbo's
Mm,
car. I want Columbo's car.
I'm curious on the interior of Columbo's car and how it drives. It seems like it'd be fun.
It's got a spring that's poking him in the ass or
Yeah,
something.
Oh,
yeah, but
yeah.
you know what's gonna he knows that, Sean's gonna have a shopping spree 10 minutes, and it's like, "Oh, you can't use limousines." Like, "What?" That's what he's gonna be pissed about.
Sean
Mhm.
and his fucking shopping sprees, man.
They are aplenty. He likes
He
Mhm.
spoiling the nymphs.
used to be a huge Office fan, and it reminds me of the time that Michael took all the ladies to the mall to let him go shopping.
Oh, yes.
It's like trying to get Angela,
Oh,
trying to get
Angela.
Angela to buy fucking lingerie and shit like that. Yeah. That's what this reminded me of, except the girls were like really into it. While he's there interviewing people, a helicopter shows up out of nowhere, and it is from Sir Harry Matthews, and he wants him to come with him. Just out of nowhere. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I'm just hopping on a random ass helicopter that just showed up for me. That's just me.
Okay, I couldn't help it. If a helicopter came asking for my name, it's like, "I gotta see where this takes me." Doesn't happen every day.
Well, because I think, they had called and paid because Sean had gotten a call, and so I think it was Sir Henry's assistant telling him, "Hey, we're picking up Columbo, have him ready."
Mhm,
And so that's when Sean's just like, "Tell Columbo to get in the helicopter," and so he kinda knew who was picking him up. But
Okay.
still, a mystery helicopter ride? I think I'm down for
mhm.
that.
Well, I do have one thing that bothers me about this. There's been enough time for him to report that Diane did not, or Miss Hunter did not show up in London, and he
Mhm.
somehow has reported that and flown to America in because wasn't this like the night before? Or was there
Yes.
an
It's like
extra day that missed?
I
it's
think
kinda hard to
maybe about,
see.
like, 24 hours have gone by.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like because they were let's see, because there's questioning the whereabouts of someone for, like, 28 hours.
That's later on, we find that out. He's questioning somebody about
Mhm.
28 hours, but I was confused here because I thought this was the next day. Like he had already had somebody call him, "Hey, this
Right.
person didn't show up."
I
But
feel
then
like
all of
it's a full day has passed, and it's the next morning.
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I'm
So
getting the vibe
literally
of.
she didn't show up and he flew immediately to America. Is that what I'm
Yeah.
Pretty
getting?
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Harry, or sorry, Sir Harry is in America now.
Mhm.
So he flies to go meet him. Basically, just wants to interview Columbo, and I found this kind of funny, the whole cigar situation, and the fact that Columbo constantly has a cigar in his fucking hand it kills
Always.
me.
You will never not see him with a cigar.
But he takes a couple cigars while he's on the helicopter, and then he's offered cigars from Harry, and he's like, "No, thank you. I've actually stole, or I actually took a couple from the helicopter." And then he gives him a handful of them, tells him they're the most expensive and $6 an
Yeah,
inch.
that I understand it's 1990, and I was trying to do the math. It's like $6 an inch is can't be the most expensive
No,
even at that
actually it
time.
was, because, like, I looked it up and
Okay.
equivalent today, because that was like for extremely high-end cigars,
Mm-hmm.
and for extremely high-end cigars today runs $15 an inch. So that like those are your primo cigars. He's being handed or fist over hand cigars. It's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you're gonna hand him every cigar in the box to try to like woo him, just give him the box.
Well, they're thinking cigars. He told them that it'll help him
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yeah.
just saying though, like they gave him every cigar in the box. Just give him the
Like,
box.
can I have a Ziploc baggie or the
Like,
box?
yeah,
Something.
like his pockets are already full of cigars he took off the helicopter. You know.
There's like no mentions like these aren't that much special. There's no like these ain't that fancy or anything like that. He never mentions them again.
Yeah, and typically when people are given a cigar, they explain what they are. Oh, it's a Cuban. It's this. It's that. No, it's just
Mhm.
these are the most expensive.
$6 an inch.
Yeah. Well, if I had $6 for every inch, I'd have like $12. But no, he's inspecting the alley now where where the gunshot was heard, where they were parked, and they
The
do
potential
recover.
crime scene.
Yeah, the potential crime scene, and they recover a bullet casing. Figured the bullet is still in the body, obviously, of whoever shot it, but the casing's on the ground. Columbo, he goes and he like tries to talk to the secretary, and she gives Columbo a recording of the last meeting they have. And out of nowhere, Sean busts in, and this is when he starts his Columbo, you're wasting your time. And this pretty much goes on throughout the rest of the movie. You're wasting time, and he laughs at him constantly.
Mhm.
And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm literally a suspect in a crime, the last thing I'm going to do is sit here and make jokes about it constantly. So I just knew something was off here. I didn't.
Well, I thought they were just at the time I was like falling for it. It's like, okay, this is the killer, even though it usually isn't. Maybe he's just that rich guy. I think I'm smarter than everyone because I'm rich kind of attitude.
Well, and that's definitely like he knows what he's doing to where it's like, I'm rich, I'm smart, I'm successful, like he'll never get me, just play along, with the detective, lead him along, tell him what he wants to hear, that whole type of vibe from him. And like I said, like the best word to describe Sean is like he's just so swarmy. It's just like, ugh, you're gross.
Well, I like Malcolm's use of the word pompous earlier.
Yes.
Every once in a while I say a fancy word. Can't spell it, but
Clap it out.
But at one point, Sean calls him out. He calls Columbo out.
It's all an act with you, isn't it? You're not the naive, bumbling detective you pretend to be.
I get the vibe like this is the first time suspects have ever called him out for Columbo's style. I don't know. Again, I haven't watched any other episodes, but I just feel like this is a hint like this is possibly a script flip concept.
It is, because there have been like other episodes to where it's kind of like that same character archetype to where it's like I'm smarter than everybody, and like they can see that it's kind of a ruse that Columbo does, that he plays this whole like, oh, he's aloof, that he's just figuring it out now. And it's like the fun thing with Columbo that through all of this, he literally is 10 steps ahead. Like he's just trying to get the evidence to where he can nail your ass against the wall. And that's what's so interesting with this movie with the cat and mouse, because for once, like they're not falling for his aloofness and bumbling, how he put it, and that they're actually ahead of him. And it's just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen here, Columbo?
Well, in the part where the secretary's talking to Columbo and Sean bursts in, this is where you get the biggest clue that really gets Columbo going. It's where he bitches about the coffee. He says, "No, I drink my coffee with cream. Miss Hunter is the one that drinks her coffee black." And then Columbo, that's what sets him off on to the next little part that we find out, because he sees her drinking coffee with cream in it at the airport on video.
Yeah, that he went through, what was it, 47 tapes?
Yeah, some shit like that. 47 different cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how. Fast forward, he definitely didn't use two eyes on two different screens.
Well, I think he said because he explained it to Sean when he brought him to the airport that usually like what they do is every 24 hours they erase the tapes. And
Yeah.
so he got there just in time to where they saved him all these tapes so he could go through them. And he found this one particular moment where she's getting coffee.
Which he even reveals later he didn't even know about it at that time until
Yeah.
something was said, and he's like,
Just
"Oh, wait a minute."
Yeah.
So, but all the other evidence that he reveals, about Miss Hunter, like when she got to the airport, I think we completely skipped this part when talking to the driver. So all the other weird shit that happened, they completely set the driver up too, I think, or was he actually in on it? That's another little weird
I
part of
don't
this.
because we do see Sean saying you got 2 minutes. I don't know who that was to.
Hmm.
Yeah, that part doesn't make any sense unless he was talking to no, because there's
No,
no cell
not if you
phone.
go towards the end. Well, yeah, there wasn't. Yeah. No, there was car phones.
Maybe she had, okay. But yeah, so the evidence here, he comes back out from there and, she had rolled up the partition, and that was so he couldn't see her in the back. So it was just her silhouette. And
Hmm.
when they got to the airport, she was all bundled up, completely bundled, like we said earlier. So there was that he revealed to her, the gunshot, and he just so happens that the casing that was found was from a 25, which Sean happens to also own a 25. And that is, he has Sean take him to the gun. Sean said he's never fired it before or even a gun in his whole life, but the
Yeah.
gun was obviously fired recently based off of the smell on it.
Yep.
So this is when he asked him to come to the airport. This is the whole thing there. But yeah, it looks like Miss Hunter on there, other than the coffee. That is the only legit thing that he sees that makes him believe that's not her.
I do like how Sean just kind of admits, yeah, I never shot these guns. He describes how he
I've
describes the
never fired a
guns.
gun in my life, Columbo. These are all just toys for boys. Bric-a-brac for the sophisticated bachelor.
Bric-a-brac.
He actually had an interesting rare gun at the top. I don't know its full name, but it has a nickname called Red 9. And one reason they're so rare now is because so many Star Wars nerds buy them and modify them to make them into Han Solo's blaster.
Oh, really?
That's
Mhm.
funny.
Nerd alert.
It's
Wow.
a few. I don't know why. That's in my head. It's in there. I could not tell you my zip code, but I could tell you that.
Basically, I guess these watches are actually terrible. Like they can only send messages if they're in close quarters. That seems a little weird.
It was just the concept of even Mike. It was troubling to get mobile phones to work long distance because the networks were just brand
Mhm.
new. We're
Yes.
talking they've been on the market for maybe 7 years, just getting these towers up. So there's just nothing to get that far.
Well, I'm trying to imagine, my dad working back in the day had a beeper for his work.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering, like, could you only send, pages that far? I understand the cell phones and stuff like that, but are pagers like going to be in the same towers, everything like that? Like I said, no
I
clue here.
think so. I guess I don't know.
Don't
I don't know
know. I
pager
think it had to be
technology.
just like they just didn't have continental ability yet for them.
Okay.
There probably wasn't enough demand yet for them to want to build that system that far out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And convenient plot.
well, yeah, you have to have that, obviously. But yeah, Columbo shows Sean the video, and he keeps asking Sean over and over, and like he did with the driver, just keeps repeating himself. But do you notice anything weird? And then Sean eventually does get a little frustrated, like, look, Columbo, if you see something, just tell me. And that's where you see the cream.
It's the cream.
And then multiple witnesses claim that Sean and Diane exchanged bad looks after he told her to have a safe trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Columbo, this was actually one of my favorite parts. It reminds me of the end of Clue when he takes Sean in the, he's like, all right, let's go for a ride. And they go do the exact same thing. And he describes what he believes happened.
Yeah.
So
limo driver has to, and then the limo driver walks in. It's like, oh, you can tell he's like frustrated. It's fine. I'll walk back in the kitchen. Then he comes back out. It's like, oh.
I wish they would have made him buy salmon again. That would have actually been kind of funny. But yeah, Cosner, that was the driver's name. You finally hear it at some point here. But yeah, But the whole trip cracked me up. I love that Sean just goes along with it. I love that at any point Sean and Columbo seem almost like friends with how often they
Yeah.
are hanging out and going and doing
Yeah.
shit together.
It's,
I
it's
mean,
a fairly odd couple situation. Yeah.
I think that could have been a
Well,
fun
and
way.
then you also have to give Sean credit for his fine acting abilities when he finally realizes the truth that Diane is dead.
Oh yeah, I legit have that. Sean says, or Columbo says that he's sure Diane was shot, and you just get that. But I go, he's acting very badly.
Well, because it's kind of like when a movie plays inside of a movie, it has to get worse. So it's like he's acting while acting. So you would
Yeah.
think it would have to be more wooded. But this is also where I noticed something about the limo, or I'll have to give credit to my wife, says, hey, rewind that. And I did. Watch the side mirror, which is ridiculous looking.
Okay, Sergeant,
And then
let's go.
it wiggles really bad. It just wiggles. It's super loose. And then I can't stop seeing it. It's wiggling everywhere.
A prop side mirror.
Costner's been slamming the door too hard.
Well, so my thoughts are that was just a regular ass limo, and they're like, how do we make this fancier?
Looked into that. It's an 89 Lincoln, but it has been it's this fancy luxury company that takes limos and makes them fancier. Like it's been extended a whole another car, not car length, but door length, and
So on the
stretched
mirror,
out even further.
on
So
the mirror,
that actually came with the mirror. Yeah, they did that to the mirrors.
that's great. Does it say on the mirror things are shakier than they appear? The thought that the double jumped in, shot her, put up the partition, and proceeded to change into Miss Hunter's clothes and dispose of the body on the way to the airport. That all seemed a little strange. So here's my thinking. The dude can see her silhouette. Can't make out what's actually behind him, but can see her silhouette. He wouldn't notice somebody moving a body, somebody putting on clothes, doing all that shit.
Mhm.
That is still in the silhouette. You would see that. Like if there was another body all of a sudden that she dumped under the seat, which is apparently what he thought, and that's where the weapon was too. So Columbo lets Sean know the bullet that they found did match his gun. He pretty sure that he thinks the body is hid on the chateau grounds. And here's the fifth time I misspelled chateau. But so at this point, you got Columbo believing that the driver didn't see any of this happen. And like I said, I started to get a little questioning myself at this point because I found this all way too far fetched. But I know nothing of Columbo, so I thought maybe this was normal. But
It is.
the silhouette, you would have seen all that. Somebody would have seen somebody pulling a body out and burying it. There would be something on the grounds. They're digging up stuff on the grounds that clearly has not been disturbed.
Well,
Like,
actually, it kind of looked like they were digging a lot of the flower beds because if I had to, I guess even I wouldn't put it on the property
Yeah.
I'm at. Get rid of the body, feed it
Well,
to the llamas.
And I know too that like going back to like the whole how they dispose the body and everything, that basically like Columbo was kind of alluding that they had already had this so planned out that that's how they were able to do it so fast, and almost like they had rehearsed it. So while the limo driver was getting the food, that's when they killed her, switched bodies, hid the body, all that stuff. So by the time he got back in the car, he was none the wiser and the partition was up because she didn't want to be disturbed.
The weird thing is Columbo or the show ever hint that the driver could be in on it, because it kind of makes it seem like the driver would have to be on it, but he clearly wasn't.
Yeah.
He was
That's what
one
I was
out of the
saying.
loop. Yeah, that's why I was like, I was like, wait, I never even thought that the driver could be involved. Somehow I even believed that he had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, he seemed to be completely clueless about what was happening, yet he seemed so obviously in on what was going on. Like that call could have been to him. You have 2 minutes.
Right.
He
Yeah, that's the only one it could have been, but they never followed it up. So I guess it wasn't. And I guess since we were the audience, we saw that he didn't see the shot. We saw that at least something was happening behind his back. I guess that's the reason why we didn't believe it was him.
And I think
But I can't
that's
believe Columbo didn't think about questioning of him more.
well, and that's the thing. I think it was like kind of a gimme that they knew that, come on, he's not involved. So
Well, I
that's
mean,
why they didn't.
they didn't use that gimme, but they used the creepiest guy that we see in the first shot. I mean, as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh, whatever happened, he did it." That guy did it.
So we keep saying the hiding the body. So Columbo finally decides that the body was hidden, like I said, in the car under the seat.
Mhm.
But there were hairs found in there, Miss Hunter's and some other woman's, which Sean is obviously saying, well, all of his nymphs have been in there. But this is where we see Sean go from confused or like sure that she's fine to sad that she's dead to
Mhm.
pissed off because it seems like Columbo is onto him.
He is
And
very bipolar.
Yeah, because he was fake being sad that she's dead, but now he's back there. It's like, she'll show up. She'll show up. It's like, wait, what happened to you fake sad?
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
weird. I didn't think
Well,
about that.
I wondered, like him being pissed though, if that actually had something to do with him digging up the area. You know, because like you said, they're digging up the flower beds, they're digging up everything. And I loved all the people walking around with metal detectors. Like,
Mhm.
what were they looking for?
Don't know.
Her watch.
The watch was in London on the other lady.
But the thing is that, like, there's been so many times, like, during this whole process that, like, Sean gets into, like, these weird, like, taunting modes because he even told him, he's like, "Okay, if you're so sure that, if the body's hidden here, go ahead, dig up the entire place." And so sure enough, what is Columbo gonna do? He's gonna dig up the entire place,
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
and this is where Sean jumps into it being funny all of a sudden.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's laughing at him. But then again, I would be too, because at one point Columbo's walking around in gaiters, you know, just a big old
The
that
gators matched his coat. I love that little detail. It's like, oh, perfect.
well, what about when he had the ladder on the roof to go up into the
Mhm.
chimney?
Yeah, he's
Yep.
looking in the chimney. That cracked me up so much.
I literally put this is peak humor here. Like I loved it. And yes, peak, literally.
But a
But
bum.
There
he,
was a slight bit of foreshadowing, and I didn't pick it up until the second watch.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I was when I first heard the banging, I was like, "Oh, she's hidden in the walls," and it's like, "Oh, well, she clearly isn't hidden in the walls." Hmm.
Well, I I love that he's got the giant blueprints of the place. Do y'all see him walking around with those, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Big
yeah.
ass. Well, I thought he had a map at first, but he's looking at these blueprints and
It
he
did look
walks.
like a map going through the
That's what I
yard.
thought. I thought he had a fucking map. I'm
X
like, how'd you
marks
get
the
a map?
spot.
But he walks into a room that's just full of a bunch of chicks in there,
Mhm.
and they tell him like, "Oh no, Miss Hunter's room is on the north end, or this is the south end, or I might have that backwards. Who gives a shit? He's in
Yeah.
the
Sure.
wrong room." But Columbo, he just walks into random places constantly, which I think's pretty funny. I did say the redoing the bathroom seems suspicious, and that was a
I
bathroom,
thought it
right?
was, but then yeah, it was a bathroom in her suite. I was thinking, but then I saw that they were in there. You can see things exposed. Like, oh, I thought it was a red herring. It's like, oh,
So
okay, it's not.
Yeah.
communism is a red herring. You know
Mhm.
that.
Just basically showing that the chateau is, like, constantly being upgraded and all that
Well,
stuff.
here's my
Yeah.
thing though. That scene from there to the end of the movie, how far apart are they?
Like half the movie, ain't it?
Because the only thing
Yeah.
those guys have gotten complete from that part to the end of the movie was put up 2 pieces of sheetrock.
Well, I mean, you see those two guys doing the tile, and one's handing one to the other. It's like, come on, fellas.
Well, I mean, yeah, they finished that tile there, but
Yeah,
after
I
that,
mean,
from
it
here to
was
the
the
end of the movie,
90s.
yeah.
I feel like 90s, like people, I guess I'm more be the 80s. I would say we're on coke and we're a lot quicker, but yeah, no, that's like the 80s.
90s craftsmanship. Don't judge
But yeah,
it.
you are right. They are towards the end of the job. They're just down to that little partition wall that they're just ignoring for
Yeah.
at least, I'm assuming, a week.
It's got to be minimum because this goes
Yeah.
on for a while. But I loved that Sean went from this is funny to Sean is now calling reporters and having them come to the manor because
Mhm.
of what Columbo's doing and having them try to interview Columbo. At this point, I'm just like drawing red flags. I'm like, what is he doing? I at this point, I really started to think the guy didn't have anything to do with the killing.
I was convinced he did it. I just thought he was cocky and knew it wasn't on the premise, but he was enjoying the fact that he's getting the publicity, and like he was saying, he was getting the sales up. I just thought he just was so smart he could get away with this and make money.
Well, and that's definitely the vibe that he's throwing, that it's just like, it
Mhm.
is like that mastermind cat and mouse, that it's like he's onto Columbo, Columbo's onto him, and he's going to make sure that, he makes Columbo look stupid, and that they're gonna make as much money off of this as they can, and it just makes him look so guilty.
It's really, really out there, and like I said, you wouldn't know Sean's like, if he did it or not because the way he changes so frequently with his attitude towards it.
Mhm.
Like I said, at this point, he just finds it funny, which I red flag, but, I didn't know what was going on here. I've actually, at this point, got completely lost because 'cause I'm like, it just seemed so obvious he did kill the person or had something to do with it, but he didn't seem to care. So, yeah, maybe you're right. He just so nonchalant because he knew they couldn't prove it. But
Mhm.
which is part of this next scene that you meet the mayor finally at, I guess, City Hall, and he's pissed off that reporters are storming the halls constantly, and they can't. So bad out there with the reporters, they couldn't even talk, so they go in the bathroom, and they have the a big conversation about what's going on. But I did have a question before we talk about that.
Yeah.
A guy storms out of the shitter. Like, I would legit at least pretend to wash my hands.
He
That's
didn't
the
wash
mayor.
his hands. He just scooched past.
If the fucking mayor and the chief of police and Lieutenant Columbo are all in there and he just walks out. No, I mean, you got to at least pretend to wash your hands. You got to do something. Like, you can't just walk out and not. I don't know. It bothered me. It really did.
It was
I
And
the
did you
90s.
recognize the mayor?
I
Uh,
did. I just don't know from where.
the Big Lebowski, the other Lebowski.
The other, yeah, the
Oh,
big
Mhm.
okay,
Lebowski. Okay.
okay.
Mhm. He also played Santa Claus in that Christmas movie in '85. I can't remember. I think it's just called The Santa
Miracle on
Claus.
no, the Santa Claus was fucking,
No, not and then it's just called fuck, I don't know.
either way, he played Santa. We're all good. But the mayor keeps saying he wants the case dropped. But the Columbo seems to have an idea. Like, he's not going to drop it. He knows who did it. He's already got his suspects. Blah blah blah. But once again, Columbo's got a fucking cigar in hand. Big sign in the background. No
No
smoking.
smoking. The rules don't apply to Columbo.
Oh yeah, obviously. But like I said, I really did. I loved Columbo's character. I can't get. What do you got? Seeing
The Santa Claus the movie, 1985.
There we go.
that's funny.
It's a
Well,
Legend.
and
trippy ass movie.
even the whole, like, the bit in the bathroom, how, like,
Mhm.
the mayor, the chief of police, they're just like, okay, we got to stop with this. We don't have any proof. What are we going to do here? And the other two detectives, that they're like, well, Columbo has a hunch. And they're like, okay, well, what's your hunch? And he's like, see, I saw on film
The cream.
that she put creamer in her coffee, but I overheard that she doesn't take creamer in her coffee. And, like, everyone's just like, holy shit.
Yeah,
And
Yeah,
they
it's like
totally give him the go ahead to keep with the investigation
the
just based
mayor
off of that.
knows. Like, the mayor is amazed by it. You're right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
It's like,
there's
"You're a
no
goddamn
fucking way.
genius, Gump."
God damn it, Gump. But yeah. Oh, and he also told the mayor that he knows who the accomplice is because
Yes.
Mhm.
at this point he found who's the hair was, and
Right.
that's actually when we get back to Sean, and this is where we find Tina again, which I guess was
Mhm.
the hoe from the beginning, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Hoe
Okay.
from the beginning.
So
Oh,
Columbo
show.
shows up and shows Sean four women who match Miss Hunter's description. Tina, which I wrote, Tina, who is the hoe in the room, is the only one of them who doesn't have an alibi. She was gone for long enough to fly to and from London, and nobody remembers her from the party. And Tina's hair was the other hair found in the back of the car with Diane,
Hmm.
or with Diane's hair. Basically, he can't arrest them, and Sean starts taunting him. Like, he taunts him because he can't arrest them until he finds a body. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have an active murder case going and
Mhm.
you have this much evidence, you got a bullet casing, uh, you've got hair from belonging to the person, you got hair belonging to the supposed
Yeah.
victim. That's grounds for being
Questioning.
at least questioning.
Detained.
Yeah.
I mean,
24
obviously
hour
later
hold.
on, yeah, later on they obviously go about doing that, but here he could have easily had her arrested or
But I like
detained.
Sean's excuse.
Look at this child, Columbo. Look at this face. Was this the face of a killer?
Refers to her as a child and basically says she's too fucking stupid. And he's correct.
Oh man. But
Well, and it is that it's just like, he just with how he carries himself during this whole thing, like they're basically face fucking the whole time, like kissing on each other. And that he's like, oh, she's far too pretty and she's definitely not smart enough to ever conduct something like this. And it's just like, if I were her, I'd be like, what? Excuse me?
Well, she's too stupid to know that she's being called stupid just then. He says,
True.
he calls me pretty.
that's that scene from White Men Can't Jump. This motherfucker's too stupid to realize he's being insulted. But
Oh.
he keeps asking Tina where she was for 28 hours, and she doesn't answer there. And the next scene, he sits down on a lawn chair, on a fucking chair by the pool, lounge chair. That's the word I'm looking for. And I guess she was the one laying there, and he asked her again where she was. She just jumps up from her chair and doesn't. I thought it was funny that she did a cannonball. Then I realized she was just trying to get him soaking wet. But
Mhm.
yeah, I was like, that's so random because most people would just go and dive in the pool, but you get this cannonball
Yeah.
out of fucking nowhere.
I like the subtle that she knew he was there by she starts sniffing the air and could smell
Yeah.
the cigar. It's like,
Oh yeah,
ew, just pissed.
I would assume that he doesn't even have to smoke the cigar. I just
No,
feel like
it's-
that's his smell.
He's been wearing that coat for 30 years. Yeah.
Like he just bathes in that smoke, and that's all that he smells like. He walks in a room, it radiates the room. Sean shows up and shows Columbo a postcard. This was funny. He gives a postcard from Diane from Milan. First of all, I don't know when she went to Italy from London, but why'd she skip her meeting? Postmarked last Wednesday, and he also gave additional cards so he can compare writing. I'm like, well, that's convenient. So once again, seems
I
like
don't know.
very
Back
red
in the
flag.
day when me and the wife would argue about like my whereabouts, I got real good at making sure I had receipts of everywhere I've been.
Holding up a
Like, here.
newspaper.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you were sending postcards from places. I was like, do they? Malcolm's just like up in northern Oklahoma. Here, postcard from Miami, Oklahoma.
To my dearest wife.
Yeah.
My dearest wife, it's been 22 hours since I've seen you. Now, this part, when I said that Columbo and Sean just seem to be friends all of a sudden, Columbo shows up to talk to him, but they're leaving for a shopping trip. And he tells him, yeah, get in, Columbo, let's go. So they go. The limo just straight up runs a red light. Did y'all catch that?
No, I didn't.
Did not.
Yeah, they're driving to the mall, and it just fucking, like, right before they're in there, and all the people are following them around, and both escalators are going upstairs. Not a single one is going downstairs, but we can ignore that if you want to. Yeah, the escalators on the left one, there's reporters going up there, and on the right one, it's them and the ladies, but they're both going upstairs. But yeah, the limo straight up just runs a red light. I'm like, God damn, that'd been funny as hell if we had just some random accident there, because that would have been like, like Police Academy. We talked about how he obviously ran into the pole, turning the corner.
Yeah.
Like, what if there's just a big accident here? They just got T-boned or something. Maybe that's what happened in the mirror.
Yeah. It was double-sided taped.
After this trip, I mean, how many trips does he take these ladies on throughout the movie?
I at least 100% know he went on 2.
I think
it definitely hints that it happens like once a day.
Yeah, I think like he talks about it, like you see it the once, and then he talks about it like 2 or 3 more times. So I think like maybe 4 times throughout the movie.
Okay. Well, after this, Columbo shows back up and lets Sean know that they cannot confirm that the handwriting on the postcard is Diane's, which once again, Sean is still acting like a pompous prick about it. I mean, that he played that role well. Like when he was acting sad, I was like, yeah, no, you're fucking guilty.
Yeah.
That's why I threw it off. It's supposed to be him acting. So I threw it to that.
He's acting like he's acting. Gotcha. He goes back to Tina at this point, And I love that he just jumps on or starts following her. It's almost like he's chasing her. That would scare the shit out of me if I had this guy that's looking in 2 different directions chasing me.
See, like, that made me feel like, remember in Ace Ventura when
Yes.
he's, like,
Yep.
investigating? Like, I wonder if they copped that from this movie because that's exactly what it felt like.
It would have only worked if he jumped on her back and chloroformed her.
Yes.
I was impressed of Columbo's ability to keep up there as long as he did.
He did do well for being a cigar smoker.
Well, let's be fair. She was jogging when he caught up to her. When she saw him, she just took off. There was
Yeah, but
no extra running.
he was 67 at the time and a cigar smoker.
Yeah. He held his own for a few hundred feet.
My knees hurt when I go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
My knees
My
are
knees-
hurting right now.
I was just gonna say mine hurt right now.
But this is the part when I first noticed them. My note literally just says, "Now they're fucking reindeer." Like, where did the fucking reindeer come from?
You see him when Columbo first rolls up. You see the first llama, you see 3 reindeer, and then you see people.
The goddamn
It's like,
alpaca, Malcolm.
it's a goddamn llama.
It's probably some other random between alpaca and llama, kind of like a fucking mule to a donkey and a horse. Yeah, he's back, and he was going to ask Tina, and she's still refusing. So this is when he goes to have her taken into custody for questioning. Once again, why did he not do it at first?
It was all circumstantial.
Yeah. I guess
Well,
he was
it's still
hoping if he had the
circumstantial.
body, he doesn't want to take a chance having to let anyone go. It's like, if I could just get the body.
Sean is still like happy as hell about the press he's receiving, but now he's pissed off again. And the only good acting I think Sean does is when he's pissed. Like he really does like Madden scenes, but he's pissed that Tina's being taken into custody, and he starts talking about don't subject the poor girl, blah blah blah. Shows him the clock that was sent to him. I'm like, I love all these random things that he has laying around. Oh, here, check this out. I had a clock sent to me. Why did he just remember this?
I would have
See?
called.
Like, yeah, call him. Call Columbo. Say, hey, we got a clock. You want to see it? No. But yeah, he's still trying to convince Columbo. You know, he's not. Diane's not dead. She's just she disappeared. Well, obviously, she didn't disappear if she's sending postcards and shit. That wouldn't be a disappearance.
If
but,
it's
you know,
her,
that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
she
that's
ran
just-
off. Well,
But,
it's like that. But then, based off his knowledge, like then she's being a bitch. She's sending all these postcards. Well, I guess that doesn't. She maybe just hasn't seen the news. I forgot it's 1990. You ain't checking
Yeah.
Twitter yet. Yeah, it's
I mean,
possible.
But there
would've-
is international coverage because like when Columbo first came in to talk to, you know, basically saying, I know it's you, I just need the proof, that they're watching like, oh, look, this is in Spanish. This is from Japan. So, I mean, word's gotten around.
Well, let's be fair. The initial report was made from London.
Yep.
So, and if you can call from London, you should be able to beep, page, whatever. You should. That's just my
Landlines
thought.
versus cell phone towers, a little different world.
True.
Yeah, I know. Well, they just couldn't get that paper to travel far enough to tape to the watch. Is what it was.
Yeah.
Well, Sean gets a phone call and he's like, "Are you sure?"
Oh,
Okay.
this is the infamous smile, the most smiley smile.
Yes.
Yes.
The shark smile.
Yeah, like he looks like the fucking Joker. Like he could
Yeah.
be the British Joker, you know.
Mhm.
Apparently, Diane showed back up, and at this point, I'm staring at this, and I was trying to.
I was actually very shocked. I would look just like Columbo then when I was watching this. It's like my eye quit working on one side. I
lit
was
up a
like,
cigar.
it's like, what's gonna happen now? Because are you telling me this is a murder mystery show with no murder?
I was mad
What
at
the hell's
Teresa
happening?
at this point. But, you know, I
Dummy.
legit was trying to figure out who this person was because I think there's no way this is Diane.
Well, because like
It couldn't be.
well, the first time I saw this, because like I was totally like shocked. It's like, what? How could Columbo be wrong? Like, there's no way Columbo can be wrong. He's never wrong. And I'm like sitting there staring at her, like, okay, this has got to be like Tina, or like, did she get emergency
Exactly.
plastic surgery? Like, what's off? But it's like, no, that's Diane. She's back.
Yeah, that's what I did. I sat there and stared at her, and I actually paused. I'm like, "Is it the same actress? Is it?" I was like, "No, it's her."
Yeah.
But there has to be something wrong here. Otherwise, I just watched an hour and something of a movie for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I was so
Oh.
I was mad at this point, to be honest. Like, not mad, but I was like, "What the
I was
fuck?"
so happy because my wife watches so many of these like modern shows, and I'm so tired of like 15 minutes in, I can just give away the ending and just piss her. Well, I do enjoy pissing her off, but I'm pissed that it's like, great, now what am I going to do? I guess I'll just be on my phone.
But
So I was happy. I was intrigued. It's like, I haven't gotten this figured out.
well, I love that immediately, like, Diane puts on a press conference and is just mocking the shit out of Columbo. Just
Fuck yeah.
yeah, I'm like, "Oh, these 2 are fucking pricks." Like,
Mhm.
that's the whole thing. These 2 are assholes. And
Mhm.
you come to find out Diane may be the worst of the 2, to be honest.
Right?
But Columbo finally realizes that the 2 set up the scheme to get a lot of free publicity, which obviously happened because the price of the company, like, what, doubled in the past week? And I think they
Yeah,
said
like,
week.
I think they said that, like, sales tripled or
Oh,
something, but,
yeah,
like,
so there you
their
go.
Mhm.
stock went through the roof and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So oh, and what was doubled was she told Mr. Matthews that he would only or she would only sell if he doubled the price that he was gonna pay or some shit like that.
Yep, yep.
Yep. And at this point, literally Matthews tells Sean, like, something about don't worry, he has time to pack his stuff and leave after the sale. So once again, we get pissed off Sean, but now you see a little bit different pissed off Sean. Like it
Mhm.
really looked like he was mad this time.
Well, because the whole conversation that happens afterwards with Sir Matthew, because basically you find out that, yeah, it was this giant ruse to get more eyes on the company, raise stock, all that. And basically Diane says that, well, since the company is worth more now, if I'm going to sell, I want double the money.
Mhm.
And Sir Matthews, he's like, okay. And Sean's like, well, I still want 2%. And he's
Mhm.
like, no, if I'm going to own this, like, if she sells, this is mine, period.
Mhm.
And you're out. And that's when he's just like, don't worry, I'll give you time to pack.
Yeah.
And he gets like major rage face.
Oh yeah. And like I said, this is the first time that I'm like, okay, yeah, I see. He actually is mad. Everything else has been acting up to this point. So the guy actually can act. He just can't pretend act.
Yeah.
But I love 90s movies or even 80s. Like this was 1990. We'll call it an 80s movie. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love how in old movies, how easy it is for someone to break someone's neck and kill them.
This was the easiest of all the necks there was in the world.
That was just a simple pop. You can go to a
Yeah.
chiropractor.
Ah.
I mean, I've literally popped my back harder than that farting.
I think I cracked my neck harder than that, and I'm still walking.
Like, Jesus. I mean, if it was that easy to break your neck and die, people would be dropping dead everywhere because of cracking your neck.
Yes. And he just click.
And then he pulls a bag out of the closet that had, a dress bag. And he doesn't, you don't see him put her in there, but it's implied that he put her in the dress bag.
Mhm.
Now, you get a press conference, and the chief of police is putting on this conference, and people are wanting to know how much money was wasted on this investigation. And I assume most of the money is basically just them tearing up the manor, right? How much they got to pay to replace
Yeah.
fix the
Yeah.
manor, yeah,
Yeah.
and then whatever it costs to buy those 3 metal detectors. But but during the police conference, you get the chief, somebody comes up and whispers in his ear, kind of like Bush, a second plane has hit, another
Oh
plane
yeah,
has hit the
that's
tower, you know what?
exactly my note for this clip. Second tower hits.
She's disappeared again.
She's
You think that's
disappeared
where Bush
again.
got the idea from?
Yeah.
That was fun.
He was a big
The
Columbo
second
fan.
chateau is hit.
Another neck has
Oh.
been snapped in the chateau, sir.
What?
But he orders everyone, just keep Columbo away from the chateau. But Columbo just goes fucking speeding up there. I love it. But
Oh, yeah, he flies out of that parking lot, and it's hysterical.
oh, I did miss one thing. After the infamous neck snapping, you see, I believe Tina, dressed up
Yeah,
as her.
they didn't address it. I was hoping it was Sean.
Like he was in drag.
Yeah, yeah.
But if it was him, the watch would have been there. So
Mm.
that would have killed Columbo's whole thing. Columbo speeds on, and he's just going through the manor again. No warrant, nothing like that. He just took it upon himself
Yeah,
to go and
he's
start looking around.
This is not municipal.
He notices the missing dress bag. Sean rushes in to meet him. And he says he knows the woman who drove Miss Hunter's car last night was not her. And the reason why, he shows him, he had a VHS tape of their security camera. How did he get that?
Illegally obtained from the
Yes.
front.
When did he have time to watch that?
Well, because I'm thinking that from like, I almost want to say a day has passed since they found out that she's missing again. So that I think he copped the tape from like the police were already doing an investigation and had the security tape, and Columbo's going to be Columbo, and he watched it, he saw it, and so he's going to go solve the crime.
Well, I get that, but can we get some SpongeBob shit like 24 hours later? Something. Like, because it makes it seem like it was whispered into the chief's ear, and Columbo's like, "Well, fuck, I'm going."
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Columbo gets tipped off by Sir Yada Yada Pants, whatever.
Harry Matthews, sir.
There you go.
As if I haven't forgot it. But
so
he goes,
I mean, so I think it's the same day because Sean's so happy. He's like, "Oh, I'm so glad it's you. I was afraid they were going to send someone else."
Yeah, once again, we get the buddy.
I think when we see him rushing, I think he's rushing from the guardhouse where he had just checked the tape. So maybe he slowly was up there, illegally obtained, and looked at that tape, and then come rushing into the house.
True. That does make more sense.
I mean,
still
the way it, nothing about it's legal here. But I guess when Sean said, "I'm glad it's you," then hey, he didn't tell him to leave.
But there is a running gag. Have you always noticed that Columbo asks permission and then never waits for a response, just does it?
Yep.
Yeah, he kind of lives his life like I do. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I'm joking. Do not live your life like that. It's horrible consequences.
It's very expensive.
He tells basically he tells Sean that he doesn't want to be set up like before, and he breaks down how they set it up before, and he was really impressed by the way Sean and Diane did it. And Columbo says he definitely believes Sean killed her this time, so he can take over the magazine. And you find out that if something in their clause or their contracts or whatever, that if one of them is missing or incapacitated for 30 days, the other gets control of their shares.
Yep.
That seems like that's terrible.
That's how it works in my house.
90s laws.
But that right there, you're just asking for your partner to kill you. I mean, that's or like the word incapacitated. I could lock you in a basement for 30 days, take over your shares, and go to jail for a month or two for kidnapping.
I could see that for medical reasons, like a coma. I bet that's not far from real life. Yeah,
but to actually have that written into like a binding contract of a business, like that's ludicrous.
It's a bit much. He does show the video to him and points out that there's no bracelet on the person, and he also points out that the person leaving was wearing Miss Hunter's mink coat, which the only awkward thing about that is the bag is missing from the closet.
Yeah.
So
where's
he says
the bag?
Exactly. He says he knows the body has to be in the bag to prevent the smelling.
That does not work.
I really eventually, even if you had the body in the bag, it would start to decompose. I assume that would have bad results on the bag as well.
Probably.
It's gonna pop like a deer on the side of the road eventually.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you've ever seen like one of those coat bag things, like they're a little thicker. It's like a combination of like a garbage bag and parchment paper.
Yeah,
like
and
it's
the
still
zipper ain't tight, so
it still needs to breathe. So like the coats and stuff don't get mildewy. So it's still gonna
like
stink.
Plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of stuff here that really didn't make sense. I don't think Sean really thought this one through, But Columbo can't prove anything, obviously. So he just asks if he can use the phone. Sean, Sean's like, yeah, go ahead. And
Yeah.
all you hear is him just dialing and dialing and dialing. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And he hangs up
But
the
I
phone.
like how Columbo handles that. It's like, oh, don't worry, it's local.
Yeah. Well, because
I
he
didn't
was.
even
He's
catch that.
pressing a
Holy
bunch of
shit.
buttons.
It's like, wait, did you hit 1 to start with? Who are you calling?
Well, the 90s, that becomes an expensive fucking call. Maybe that's why he couldn't beep her or page her over, because that would have been expensive.
I do
But-
not want to spend that much to find her.
But you start hearing this beeping coming from this other room where the same two
Mhm.
guys are still in there, and they're still happen to be on the tile side, but
It's almost like they're being paid by the hour.
it does seem like like they are definitely like taking their time on that shit. Because
Oh,
like I
yeah.
said in the beginning of the movie, and I think we established it's been 1 week,
Yeah.
and at least 1 week, and all they've done is put up 2 pieces of sheetrock in that
But
corner.
they
that he
couldn't
looked
have
in
done
earlier.
that. Someone
That's a
put.
good point.
I'm supposed to believe that Sean used a hammer,
No.
but that yeah.
He did a fairly
on.
good job then, because
But he
wasn't
can
that
break a neck,
stove and
so he
everything?
might be able to swing a hammer.
True. True.
If you can break a neck, you can drive a nail. Is that what
Yep.
you're saying? Like dodgeball
Yeah.
here.
Put that on a
Yep.
t-shirt.
But you hear the beeping, and it's coming from the wall, and Columbo's like, "Oh, wait a minute, you mind if I borrow this?" And he breaks open that wall pretty easily. That wall,
Mhm.
like, you know what?
Mhm.
Maybe Sean did put it up.
Yeah, you just put 2 nails in.
Didn't even think about how easy it came down. But you got Miss Hunter staring out the bag. I'm obviously not staring. She's got her eyes are just as dead as one of his, staring out the bag, and he unzips it and pulls out her watch. I'm sorry, that thing's got to stink a little, right? Like,
It's got
I
to.
mean, her bowels have loosened by now, so
Yeah. She's a
like
mess.
it's just sitting at the bottom of the bag, just shit everywhere. But he opens up the beeper watch, and what I refer to as the iWatch, and you get this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Look at the corners.
Holy
They
shit.
are peeling up really bad.
I do love how they use that font there to make it look like it was typed.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, don't get me wrong, it was typed and printed off, but
Yeah,
it's like,
interesting. They had fonts back then.
well, yeah, that looked like the Revenge of the Nerds font. It's like what you see in the beginning when the music's playing and they're showing the credits. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just
But-
called digital type.
I think so.
But yeah, that was like one of 5 different fonts you could use. This is before Comic Sans had come around and everybody started using it.
Wingdings.
Wingdings, yeah. But literally, it says "gotcha," and that's the end. Like, I wanted to see like Sean try to explain that or something.
But see,
Nah, I
that's
say
the thing.
it's a perfect ending.
Well, and that follows the MO of Columbo the show, because it's always like it's almost like Columbo is an evil villain when it comes to explaining like how he figured you out, that he sits you down, he will explain his whole process, and then basically it's just like, okay, like you just see them slowly walk off to like the police district, or get in the car and go, and it's always like this, and it's so it's beautiful. I love Columbo.
If they only showed the 60% mistrials because the mishandling of evidence and lack
Right.
of warrants.
Well, I would love to know if this could actually stick in the end, because he clearly went there illegally against the orders, but then again, Sean let him come in.
No,
That's
he
true.
found him.
Well,
He
Sean
found
also
him in there.
said, "I thank God you're here. I thought they would send somebody else." So he was happy he was there. He didn't ask him to leave. That kills the trespassing.
That doesn't work for vampires. It wouldn't work for cops.
But then again, too, this is the 1990s. This is LAPD, and we all know how shady they were. So even if he did mishandle anything, they would have covered it up just because, well, we got him.
Okay. Well, I will be honest. I don't have any more notes here. So if we have anything that was missed, please go ahead. Otherwise, we'll hit our overviews here.
No, I think we touched on
No.
everything. All the pertinent stuff.
Oh, wait,
Actually,
there's
went a
this
lot quicker
little
than I thought it would based
speech.
off how many notes I had.
Yeah, there's a little speech I thought aged well right here.
Okay.
We're suspects because someone from your ordinary, middle-class background believes that immoral people like Tina and I are capable of anything, including murder.
I kind of like that. Murder.
I love the way
Murder.
European people say murder. It just sounds evil.
Makes
But
it sound so elegant.
let us do this. First of all, kind of disappointed there was not a Rotten Tomatoes review of this. Like they don't have a critic score, they don't have a fan score, nothing for this. It was blank.
I think IMDb did though,
Okay, well I'll have to look that one up. But
because I want to say that was like a 7.8 out of 10.
okay, all right, well good. So we have some kind of basis to go off of. We'll just call it. So we base ours on percentage, so we'll call that a 78%.
Yay!
So now we'll do this the same way we did the choosing of the movie. Teresa, who do you want to go first for the overview?
Let's go. I think Malcolm did it last time, so I'll go with Jay. Jay, go
All right.
first.
All right. So I'll say I wasn't really sure what to expect when this was suggested, but I must say I actually rather enjoyed it. Not really a fan of detective shows / movies, but this one had me interested pretty much the whole way through. A couple things I was like, what the fuck's going on? But I really did like the twist of her being in on the disappearing. But honestly, in the end, she got what she deserved. She was a cunt.
Yeah.
Real question now. She's dead. He'll be incapacitated for at least 30 days. Who gets control? Nobody knows now. Mr. Harry Matthews somehow take control because there was a pending contract. I don't know. But, like I said, for this not being in my normal wheelhouse, but still a very enjoyable show, I'm probably going to watch some more of these to see how I enjoy the show. I'm not sure if I want to start back on the show or go to where they became like movies. But in the end, I would suggest anybody to watch this because if you're a fan of detective movies, if you're not a fan, it was a good show. It's funny, enjoyable. I actually gave this a 74%, so about right on par with the 78 given on IMDb.
Hell yeah.
So, Malcolm, you want to go ahead and hit yours?
Yes. Columbo Cries Wolf. Holy hell, what a ride. I went in blind, first Columbo episode I've ever seen, and I was expecting a Matlock knockoff. Slow, formulaic, predictable courtroom stuff. Boy, I was wrong. This thing starts with classic 90s sleaze, a Hefner wannabe photographer running Naked Girl Monthly, might as well have been called, out of Beverly Hills Chateau, complete with nymphs, which that word creeped me out. Don't know why.
Well, if there were nymphos, would that be better?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Okay. The pager watches, which I called it's like somehow the pager little watch thing, that's going to be the key.
I call them the iWatch.
And belts worn so high to the navel, like it's high fashion. I did not know I was so fashionable, at least for 1990 standards. Shoulder pads were in short supply back then. Apparently, it was a dark time. The whole vibe is a repulsive Playboy mansion energy, cigar stink helicopters, these delicate hands that break necks like they're pencils. It was, I just loved it. Only flaw, I needed more llamas.
Alpacas.
Llamas. Then the plot flips on your head. Fake murders for publicity and shares. Real murders out of desperation. Columbo publicly humiliated. Calling him the boy who cried wolf, or at least I had that moment. It's like, holy crap, I get the name of the show. He's a relic walking into a glossy cyberpunk light world of limos and brick phones, looking like he's wandering out of the 70s museum. The unpredictability kept me locked in. No checklick pacing like Matlock or House. No monologues. No flexing of IQ. Just a quiet patience until the gotcha pager sting lands. That was my favorite part. Bottom line, it was surprisingly good. Better than Matlock. I think Matlock is the knockoff. It made me want to binge the whole series, starting with the classic to see if it's a pure version, and then move to these revivals. If you like detectives who win by looking like they're losing, Columbo still holds up. 90%. Why? Because it came out in 1990.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm interested to hear what Teresa has to say.
Well,
I
I
don't know
didn't
who's gonna top you there.
I didn't have anything written down, but basically, like I said, that this is tried and true, it does go off the beaten path of your typical Columbo because it is. It's the typical you started off, you see what crime occurred, who was killed, who was kidnapped, whatever, and then you watch the entire episode seeing how Columbo figures the whole thing out, except this time total gotcha that he got, and it's just like, oh no, but he still gets you at the end because he's Columbo and he's the best at what he does. And like my only complaint is because throughout the entire series, his famous line is, "And just one more thing." He never said it in this movie. And it's like, oh, come on, Columbo. Like, I was waiting for it the entire time, never said it. So I have to deduct a couple points off for that. But it, like you guys had said, and I will reiterate, if you do like true crime, mystery, detective, anything like that, this is, I don't want to say brainless, but it's an easy watch. It's fun. You don't have to think that hard because they're doing all the work for you, and the payoff every time is brilliant. And with this, same thing, gotcha. And I would have to say I'm going to give it a 95%. And it would have gotten 100%, except he didn't say the line. He didn't say it.
Oh no, this was fun. I loved it. We might have to do another one down the line. You might have to pick another Columbo movie
Yes,
for us to do.
I will.
But but I believe that is going to do it for us tonight. Just one more thing. Please tell our listeners about the And Now You Know podcast and where they can find you.
Well, if you like short shows about the most absurd questions life has to offer or that I can think of, then tune into And Now You Know show that it's available on most of the podcast catchers, I believe. I think I said everything right up finally. But you can follow me on Twitter at at ANYK show, or you can email me at and now you know show at gmail.com. I will definitely take questions, submissions. And yeah, it's just quick 5 to 10 minute episodes about fun, useless facts that you never thought you'd know or need.
Yeah, I believe your last episode was about is 5 inches enough?
Yeah, is 5 inches good enough or big enough? Yes, something along those lines.
4.5 works. That's the size of a credit card.
Well, you'd have to tune in to find out.
Well, anyways, thank you for joining us, Teresa. It's been a blast. As for our listeners, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and you can visit our link tree at linktr.ee/no clue movie reviews for all of our other links.
And you can also leave a comment and make a suggestion for what movie we could watch.
Always a fun thing to do. So leave a comment, hate us, like us, it don't matter. Tell us what you think.
Brilliant. You used me to get a lot of free publicity. You made a fool out of me. But I gotta hand it to you. You did it well.